Imagine if you knew exactly what shoppers are looking for. They would choose your product every time. In this video, I'm going to show you how to get insights for every stage of the customer journey so you can ensure your Amazon listings stand out and increase click-through rates. Listen, if you're only focusing on your main image, you're missing other critical factors that increase click-through rate. That's why I'm going to show you how to use 4 powerful pick-through polls that, when used together, reveal what actually attracts shoppers, whether it's images, titles, descriptions, or pricing. You'll learn exactly what grabs attention, what drives clicks, and how to align your listing perfectly with what customers want. You've done the research, perfected your products, but shoppers are still clicking on your competitors' listings instead of yours. Imagine having a cheat code, knowing what makes your customers tick. This is it. A shortcut to not only keeping up, but surpassing the competition. And the best part, PickFu has made it incredibly simple. So without further ado, let's dive in. Today, I'm going to be walking you through a specific SOP that's going to outline exactly step by step how to run this analysis using PickFu. But first, there's one critical step. Get this wrong, and every single one of your polls is going to lead you in the wrong direction. Before we run our first poll, we need to figure out our top targeted keyword. We're going to be using helium-10. So let's dive in and I'll walk you through exactly how to do this. All right, so if we go into this, our top one is going to be identify our main keyword. And you can see here, this keyword is going to be used across all of our tests. So again, get this wrong and you're going to be misled and get incorrect information in your poll. So how are we going to do this? Well, first, let's determine what polls are going to be. All right, so this is our product. And what we need to figure out first before we do anything is what is the specific, most relevant, most searched keyword. Now, a lot of sellers may think they know what their main keyword is, and you might be right as far as the biggest, highest volume keyword, but we want to get specific here. If you can get specific, then you can make sure you're identifying the correct sellers that this entire process is going to be built off of. This is a really great example. We're saying that this is our product. This is a baby blanket, but more specifically, a muslin swaddle blanket. When I take a look at this search page, what I'm seeing is that there's a lot of variations in these types of products. So you can say I have these more fleece style blankets, more fuzzy blankets. You also have these name blankets. There's a ton of variety on this page, and that's not what we're looking at. Again, because we want to start to dive into our specific shoppers and their intent and what they're looking for. And if we started off using this page, we might get some interesting insights, but they might say, oh, I love how you can customize this. I love how this one has a Minnie Mouse. But we don't want to compare ourselves against those specific. What we want to do is get those really deep, very specific, critical insights. And it all starts with picking the right keyword. So let's go back over to our SOP. I'm going to pop this open. And again, with all of this, I'm going to walk you through exactly how to follow this. So here, we're going to go to helium-10 magnet and we're going to reverse ASIN search our product that we want to evaluate. Then what we're going to do is we're going to sort our results by search volume. And then this is the critical point. This is a manual step. You can't skip it. You're going to work your way down the list to identify your highest search volume, most highest relevant keywords. So what exactly does this look like? Let's go through it now. So again, this is my specific product. And if this is my specific product, I need to go ahead and I'm going to grab this ASIN right here. I'm going to go over into helium-10 magnets. I'm going to drop this here. What this is going to do is, again, it's reverse ASIN search the product. So it's going to give me a list of keywords. And then what I want to do is go through and I'm going to sort these keywords by search volume. Once I've sorted these keywords by search volume, what I'm going to do is I'm going to manually go down this list and I'm going to illustrate to you exactly what I mean by finding the intersection between relevancy, and search volume. So this first one is a fabulous example. We have here that the search volume is really high, and while we might feel like blanket is pretty relevant to our product, what you want to do is pop open this and you want to look at what does this specific search page look like. So what do we see when we land on the search page? And you'll notice that it is a lot of larger blankets. This keyword blanket doesn't specifically refer to baby products. This is looking at much larger products. We also see a lot of variety here as well. You can see that there's some sports, there's also some customized photos, you have a heated blanket. There's not only a wide variety, but our product doesn't clearly fit in this search page. So once we have that information, we go back to our list and we say, all right, baby registry search. Again, that one is going to be super broad, not specific to our product. Newborn essentials may be a keyword that we might rank on, but again, we want to be comparing our product to other very similar products. And if we have broader searches like that, it's not going to be applicable. Same thing with baby blanket. Again, this is probably a keyword if we wanted to go after like the upper echelon keyword to rank on, this would be it, but this is not what we want to compare ourselves to. And I went through that when we looked at other search grid and we were noting all of the variations. Now here we see again, so we're going down this list to see if we can find a very specific style. And here you can see something, muslin swaddle blankets. So I'm going to pop this open. Again, this has really high search volume. So it's still at the top of the list. It's still a very important keyword. But when we go to this search page and we look at it, you can see they're much more specific to our product. And in fact, our product is ranking here. Now, there's different styles and patterns, yes, but the types of blankets that these are very similar to our own. Now, of course, our product tends to have a little bit more earth tones to it, and that might be fine. And we might also want to compare ourselves to different patterns. So if you wanted to, you might go deeper and deeper into this list to see if what baby swaddles or baby wraps, or if there was anything relating to like gender neutral or those specific muted colors. However, when it comes to stylized options like this, it can be very helpful to find a like product, but also has different stylized options. You'll see in a moment when we start to run these polls how it can be helpful to understand like why specific clients are clicking. We ran a poll like this for a specific client. We found out that actually the types of colors that they had chosen fit very much into what shoppers were looking for in that specific space, which was really, really helpful to know. And so you don't want to get too specific here. You still want to make sure you're at the top end in terms of search volume. What we find is that the more specific you get in the search, the lower the search volume. So you do want to make sure that you're also looking at higher search volume. Any products that are ranking on higher search volume will also be making a greater number of sales just due to the search volume in that space. So you want to make sure that you're not going too far down in the list. But for this case, we are going to be able to look at muslin swaddle blankets is going to be our keyword. And so we're going to be able to take this keyword and use it throughout all of the next polls that we are going to run. This next step is often overlooked because sellers think they already have the answer. However, it's important not to skip it because the answer is going to determine the success or failure of all of the following steps. The click test shows you exactly which product shoppers are clicking on the search page that we just identified. We often think we know our top competitors, but are you comparing yourself to who your market's comparing you to? Let's find out together. All right, so now that we know what our main keyword is, we got that locked and loaded. Now we need to set up our first poll. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to PickFu and start to run a click test. And again, I'm going to walk you through what this looks like, but you can absolutely get a copy of this SOP and make sure that you are following along. So once you get into the PickFu dashboard, what you want to do is select create a new poll. Once we have this new poll, we are going to choose to build a survey. And we've actually tested running these in a conjunctive survey and then running separate surveys. What we find is that you get the most insights if you run these as separate PickFu polls. So that's what we're going to be doing. Now, once you have this view, what you're going to choose a click test. Once you've chosen that click test, you want to specify how many clicks they have on the image. That's going to be here. And then as far as the question, going back to our SOP, we're going to enter the question. If you were shopping on Amazon for, again, insert high search volume relevant keyword here, which product would you click and purchase and why? So what you can do is you can take this, we're going to copy this and then go back to our PickFu poll and we're going to paste this in here. And I'm going to get rid of these parentheses. I'm going to get rid of the quotation marks and then I'm going to insert that keyword that we found into this poll here. So we're going to make it very specific to the shoppers. So once you have your question in here, the next thing you need to do is upload a screenshot of the search page. I'm going to show you exactly the type of screenshot that you need to take. All right, so we're going to go back to this muslin swaddle blankets search page. Again, we want to make sure that we are comparing ourselves to like competitors. I'm also going to zoom out a little bit because I want to be able to take a screenshot of quite a few options. Now, here's where you need to get specific with your screenshot. One, you want to make sure that if you have any plugins, before I started this up, I had some Helium 10 plugins, which are great and give you some options and some pop-ups in the search grid. You want to make sure that all of those are disabled. This screenshot should replicate your specific search page. You don't want anything doctored. You don't want anything added. The other thing is in this click test, we're not going to be taking a screenshot of the headline ads. We want to keep it pure and simple. The other thing is you'll notice right here, we have a widget. So if I zoom in here, you can see that it says the customers frequently bought. Here, you'll know that this product and this product, it's appearing a couple different times. We don't want that in there. We just want that top piece of the search grid. So we're only looking at the highest ranked products. Now, in this case, our specific product is ranked high in search. That's fine. We can leave this here. What we don't want to do is worry about like if our product isn't there, that's fine. We'll actually be adding in our own product to polls later. All we're looking to do is figure out when a shopper is searching for this specific item and they come upon this specific search page, only for like this top rows, what we want to do is just see where they would be clicking on. So what I'm going to do is I have a screenshot tool here. So I am screenshotting this top half of the search page, and then I'm going to save that screenshot. Once I have my screenshot, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back over to the PickFu poll. I'm going to click on upload image. So I'm going to do this. Pop it open and you will see that this image should appear in our poll. There we go. There's our option right here. All right, now let's go down. Now let's go back to our SOP. So you're gonna, again, you upload the image of the search page, use incognito window, make sure all plugins are turned off, and make the screenshot should include the search grid and the top of the fold. So there's just those top, organic, and also the sponsored placements. I would leave how many time, again, the respondent should click at 1. And when it comes to choosing audience size, I recommend choosing between 15 and 30. These are lighter weight polls. Also, the higher the sample size, the more your poll will cost. So do keep that in mind. We found 15 clicks or 15 to be pretty good. If you want a little bit more data, you can choose to go up to 30. I'm going to leave it at 15 for this. And then you want to make sure, again, you should choose your country you're selling in. So for in this case, we're looking at the US market. So I'm going to make sure I choose the US market. We're going to choose a targeted audience here. And then we're also going to make sure that Amazon Prime members are specify Amazon Prime members. So let's go back here. We're choosing United States. We're going to choose a target audience. We're going to choose Amazon Prime members is yes. And then we can leave those free demographic questions. If you want to, you can continue to preview, which is just going to show what your poll is going to look like. But again, in this case, I'm just going to say pay with one click. I want to go ahead and run this poll. These polls are incredibly quick. It should take you a matter of minutes. Notice it's already collecting data. Once we have the data collected from this poll, we can then use that information to run all of our other consecutive polls. So now that the PickFu poll is done, which really took less than 15 minutes, I believe, we can see the results. Now here you'll see that there's a couple clear winners of 3 clicks on these items, and then it's pretty well spread to 2 and 2, which is totally fine actually. Sometimes like this, there's not a clear winner, and that's actually fantastic because we have some to choose from. Now there are certain times where there's a very clear breakout winner, and sometimes it's more of an even spread like this. So I'm actually glad that this turned out like this, so I can show you how we're going to take these results and dive even deeper when we get into the next part, because that's where the true magic starts to happen. But here's what we want to know. Where most often are shoppers clicking on this search page? And then what we want to do is pick 3 or 4 of these to then carry down into our other tests. So right here, we have these 2 clear winners. Now, when you run these polls, what I love about PickFu is you can actually highlight these and you can select these to see what are the responses from shoppers. If I don't have this selected, what's going to happen is I'm going to see the ones that they clicked on and I'll get their feedback. But if I wanted to look at feedback for a specific product, I can select it here and it's going to filter these results. So we get things like it was affordable and stylish. The print was modern. Again, we're going to get deeper into analyzing price points and the variations in the listing. But right now we're seeing, okay, so it's basic needs. They like the flowers and they like the prints on it. If we looked at this one, we'll see that these are filtered. So they're choose their options because they like this affordable, they like the modern print, they like the affordability of this. The options had flowers and variants. Again, oftentimes what sellers will do is you think you understand what shoppers are looking at on search pages and you just look at, oh, they are close to me and maybe have a similar price point, or maybe they have a very similar product. But this allows you to really dig into those specific search pages and identify where those clicks are happening, and then really start diving deep into the specifics that make these stand out. Because while this is great in and of itself to know where shoppers are clicking, we want to get even more detailed. Other things that we can do, so we might drag over these and say, okay, out of the 2 ones, they like the lighter color design, they're highest quality, the color of the materials. Here we can see there's this option as well, which has a little bit different image. So people are liking the neutral colors and they're actually liking very low quality image. See this one as well. They're saying they like the thick. So we already know that we're going to choose this product. So your product is going to be one of the 4 that you're going to choose in the next poll. If we didn't have our product showing up and being clicked on in the search page, that's fine. We're going to add it in when we get to the next step. But we know that there's 2 clear winners here. So what we're going to do is we're going to take those 2 and our product. And I think for a third and sort of a wild card, I'm also going to throw in this teddy bear product as well when we get into the next poll. Now that we know what we're up against, we need to dive deep. Skip this step and you'll miss the most impactful changes you can make to increase your click-through rates. Your main image only has a split second to stop a customer's scroll. In this test, we'll find out what small image characteristics capture shoppers' attentions instantly and why. So let's get into it. All right, so now that we ran our first PickFu poll, we need to start dissecting every point of the shopper journey. And the first thing we're going to do is really get a head-to-head with this main image test. We're going to go back to PickFu and we're going to build another survey. This one's going to be slightly different though. So we want to choose this ranked poll. Again, we're going to be choosing 3 to 4 options. One of those is going to be ours. So I'm going to add in another option as well. It doesn't matter the order of these, because one thing that PickFu does, which is fantastic, it will actually swap the order. So they're not actually going to be influenced by the order that these show up. So it doesn't really matter there. Once we do this, the question is going to be pretty similar to our first question, but slightly different. Instead of saying which one would you click on and and why, we're going to copy in. Again, this is in the SOP. You can get access to this as well. We're going to get rid of the quotation mark. So if you were shopping on Amazon, which product would you purchase and why? I'm going to take that. And again, we're putting in muslin swaddle blanket. Again, very specific to our products here. And then what we need to do for these options is we're going to go through and we're going to upload the main images for these products. So the easiest way is going to go back to that original search page, and then I'm going to pop open these products in another spot. So in this case, it's actually really helpful to have that original search page as an option in the exact order. So I would just keep that page open, because once you have that, then I know that these are the products that I need to go through and pull the information for. And again, I want to keep this specific search page open because you're going to want to take screenshots of these in a second. But going back to our ranked poll, here we need to upload the images. I'm going to upload all of those main images from my computer. All right, we have all of these options uploaded. These, it looks like, are all in the same ratio. There are certain times where if there's a different ratio of the main image, you will have something pop up that says, hey, just so you're aware, you might want to resize some of the images because it's not exactly comparing apples to apples, which is totally fine. We want to actually keep it that way because we want to upload the main images exactly as they're downloaded for listings. You want to download those exact images. You don't really want to take a screenshot here. But once you have those images, then again, your sample size, you want to use 15 as your sample size. Again, we're using US. Target audience, the only targets that we're choosing is making sure that they are a Prime member. So for this exact product, we might want to get a little bit more specific. An example would be audience traits, like, are they a parent? What is their age? You know, do they have kids? All of those kind of things. You're welcome to specify the poll. Just know that the more specific you get, the less there are people who are able to take these polls. So your polls could take a little bit longer. But once you have all that, again, super simple. I'm just going to choose pay with one click. You can preview this poll if you like. And here what we'll do is we'll wait. Now, the next polls do not require us to take information from this poll. So we'll talk about what it looks like to evaluate the entire shopper journey once all of these polls are done. This next step I'm going to share with you is perhaps the most disregarded step of this entire process, but it has the power to completely transform your offer. This test shows you more than just how your main image compares. It reveals how your entire offer stacks up, including your price, your star rating, your title, and more. Uncover exactly what shoppers are evaluating and what you need to do to stand out. So this next step is actually going to be our search image test. And again, a lot of people look at just their main image and then they might just go compare price. But do shoppers really care about price? Are they evaluating your reviews? What are they actually looking at when they're making decisions when you click? Because although the main image is insanely powerful, it is not the only thing that shoppers see when they're searching keywords. So let's look at that. Again, I told you it would be super helpful to have this search page up. So here we definitely want to zoom in a little bit more to expand this. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be taking a screenshot of this search page, which we will then want to save these screenshots and use them in the poll. And I'll walk you through how to set that up. These products that we have here is this one, this one, this one, and this one. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pop open my screenshot tool and I'm going to take a specific screenshot. And the other thing that I want to do is make sure that these screenshots are exactly the same size. What you'll note here is that this part here is a little bit more condensed, but due to the fact that, say, this product right here has a coupon, notice how this gets pushed down. You want to capture all of this because the goal goal is not to have everything one-to-one, but to specifically compare depending how something appears in the search page. So notice how there's white space below these. We want to make sure we're capturing that white space. Now that we've taken all of our screenshots exactly how they appear on the search page, we're going to go through and set up our next poll. We're going to choose build a survey again. And then this time we're also going to be doing another rank test. Here we have our ranked options. We're going to choose this. And then for our specific question, it's actually the exact same one that we did before. So I'm going to pull that up. And again, remember, we're using the exact same keyword that we identified, so we make sure that we're prompting the audience correctly. Then here under these, I'm going to upload all of these screenshots individually. Again, PickFu does a great job of rotating these when it comes to the rank test. You don't really have to worry if something is in a specific order or if it's the exact same order as it was before. It doesn't really matter. PickFu handles all of that for you. So after I add my last option, and again, you can see how these are slightly different. This one has Amazon's choice. That's perfect. Again, we're not looking for a complete 100% across the board one-to-one comparison. We want to know, as this appears in Search Grid, which one of these you find most interesting. Which one would you purchase? Again, sample size, I'm going to do 15. You can do between 15 and 30. United States, target audience. Here, again, I'm choosing to make sure that they are Prime members. If you went through and you did a little bit more of a targeted test, like for an example that I showed before, if you had selected a target audience that were parents, you want to make sure that you're doing the exact same thing in the following goals. This one, I only did Amazon Prime member, so I can leave that one as is. That is it. What we're going to do is I'm going to choose to pay with one click. If you want, can preview your poll and see how it appears to the audience. But here, I'm going to select pay with one click. And just like that, our poll is started. And again, we'll go through and we'll look at the evaluations of these individual products, and we'll see again what insights can we pull off of that. Missed this last step. Everything else was for nothing. Clicks don't mean anything if no one's buying. Here, we're diving into the factors that turn clicks into purchases, uncovering what makes products truly irresistible. You guessed it, we're going to run another PickFu poll. Let's walk through exactly how to set this up. So here we're going to run what we're calling a listing conversion test. PickFu is not only good for looking at images. Did you know you can actually send shoppers specifically to the search pages and have them give you feedback on the listings when compared to your competitors? Insanely powerful. Let's walk through how to do that. So you guessed it, we're going to be running another poll. So here we want to do a ranked test again. We're going to be choosing the exact same question as before. So we're going to put in our prompt, and then we're also going to make sure that we put in the specific keyword for our prompt. Here in this ranked option, again, we're choosing 4. I recommend doing it in between 3 and 4. You don't really want to overwhelm the audience, especially when you're sending them to listings. So maybe just 3 would be good in this case, but we've already done 4. So let's go ahead and do our 4. Now, what you're going to do here, instead of uploading images, what you want to do is put the links to the product pages in these options. So when I downloaded the main images, I also made sure to keep those pages open so I could go back and grab those links. Again, as before, the order doesn't really matter. And I'm going to go down audience size. I'm choosing 15 again, United States, target audience. Again, make sure that your target audience is as specific as you did on previous tests so you can get one-to-one. Here, I'm going to choose Prime members as yes, and that's the only real specification I'm going to do. In this case, I do recommend continue to preview, because what you want to do is just look at these and make sure that these links are the correct links. So what I would do is I would copy these and then I would just pop open all of those to make sure that you are directing to the correct listings. But providing that all of these are correct, and they are, I'm going to go through and continue. I'm just going to choose pay with click. You can also just choose continue and to check out. And here you can see our poll, which is awesome. They have the ability to just quickly click on these links, go directly to the product pages, and give us an idea of which option, again, factoring on all of the things on the product pages. So the listing, A+ content, they can look at reviews, they'll do a quick scan of the images, and not only identify which product they would most likely purchase, but then also what they're going to do is give us specific feedback, which we're going to be analyzing now. So now that we've run all of the polls, it's time to do an evaluation, because what's the point of getting data if you don't go through and analyze it? In this PDF, there is a how to use this evaluation. So the click test, again, you're going to identify where shoppers are clicking, main image, it shows specific things. And this is the best part of this process in the analysis, is that what you'll notice as we go through and we analyze these is that every different phase, so when we only have the main image in play, there's specific things that draw in shoppers' eyes. Then when we zoom out and we have the idea of the price and the star rating, you'll notice that shopper feedback changes and their selection changes. So what we can do is we can identify at every stage of the things that shoppers are evaluating, what is drawing their eye when that is that specific thing that they're looking at. And then what we can do is we can take all of the best things and use it to improve our offer. So when we go through and we look at this click test, what we want to do is here's how we would use the click test to evaluate. So we're going to start by looking at the heat map. And then so what we want to do is delve into the very specific reasons why shoppers are clicking. The other thing that I love about PickFu is when you start a poll, it will send you an email and say, hey, you started the poll. And then when the poll is done, it will actually send you another email that says, hey, go on and check this poll. So you don't have to go back and keep like reloading the screen, although that's something I do because I'm really anxious to get the feedback, but they will let you know, hey, poll is done, so you can go on your merry way and then just come back to it later very easily. So what I would do in these cases is, again, I want to look at the specific things that are making people click. So they're liking the very general new term patterns, and notice they're also liking the price point. So it seems like price point is a pretty big factor in this space, because you notice a lot of things of affordability. And although they do seem to like the neutral patterns and they do the quality, so they could say like, hey, these are obviously more quality, but there is a lot of mentions of price. So when I select this one again, you want to look at everything. A lot of it is the patterns and the style, which is going to be obvious in a space where there's, again, just a lot of detailed designs, but you can get good insights. And again, you want to focus on the most click, but you can get some interesting insights from these other ones as well that maybe only have one click. So once we've evaluated the click test, we can now go through and look at the results of our main images. And again, you're going to see some very specific insights here that can be helpful that we would not have found if we were only running, say, one of these, if we were only running the click test. So in this case, what we found is that this one is the clear winner. What we want to do is figure out why. So this one is option B. It got 6 responses or 6 ranks, and you can go down here and you can read these. Here's some interesting things. It's the only option that tells them the dimensions and the material. It looks like, so oftentimes they'll give feedback for other ones. They like the cute bear patterns, but that is a really critical insight. Is it saying, hey, this is the only one that gives me any indication of like how big these things are, which is maybe something that we could carry over. Notice that these were a very unique main image and they had a very unique bundle to them, where everyone else is sort of this flat lay. So it looks like shoppers are kind of using that to identify what products they want to purchase. Again, you can also go through here, look at who is the second place, what do people like about those. They're noticing the quality. Again, they like the different colors because they have a light beachy feel. They like the greens. Greens are very in right now, and so that is really good. And then you'll notice that this is the third option, the main image, where it was well liked before. So again, you're going to see these consumer shifts when you zoom in to the very specific aspects of the shopper funnel. Here we're going to start by noticing why certain images, what is it that caught their eye? Is it a color? Is it position of something? We've done this before and it was like, oh, I liked how this main image, there was kind of like this overwhelming aspect to the main image that like took away from the product. And so that was something that we were able to like tweak about the main image. Again, you want to find a straightforward analysis of what specifically about the main image is catching shopper's eye, and then you can iterate based on that. Once you have that information though, again, we want to start looking for other aspects of the funnel. So how it appears in search grid. So now we're not just looking at the main images, we also want to look at things like price point. They're going to see things like star rating. And in some categories, you'll find that they'll mention star rating a lot. Like this one has more reviews. And then in others, the reviews almost don't even really matter, which is what you'll see in this case. So instead of this being the clear winner, it's now in fourth place because when we add in the price point, it seems like shoppers no longer care about the dimensions and how this product is positioned. But again, because when we did that main head-to-head image test, we can take all of the good stuff that they're using in their main image and then use it for our products so we can stand out as well, but then still keep all of these other factors that are making our product unique. So here we can say, I chose this option because it's high quality, like the color options. It looks like folded towels, usually like the cheapest price. So here you're mentioning a lot of price. So this is the thing, especially in today's economic climate, everyone wants to do really light. But the thing about baby blankets is you kind of have to purchase a lot of them. And while you might have one or two that are like, oh, those are beautiful, you also have to think at levels of scale. So cost is often a really big factor, which it appears in this market, which again is going to completely change category to category. Again, sometimes they're going to want a specific color, sometimes it's going to be price very dependent. But here again, we can get these very specific shopper insights and note that part of it is color, but another huge part of it is going to be price. And we know that our market is going to be more price sensitive. So then our last evaluation, again, we're looking at every single stage of the shopper journey, is going to be when they actually land on the listing, which of these products is the shopper going to purchase. So again, you can see a clear ranked winner. So the number one ranked product when people have access to the listing is this products as well, which note that this has variation. So that's something else that you'll see is maybe the one product does really good in the search grid. When they land this listing, they might also call out the other products that are available. So again, they can see the entire offer from start to finish. And again, similar to the other ones, when it comes to this, it says there are so many positive reviews. So they're really liking the reviews, which is great. So here again, they might not evaluate the reviews in the search grid. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. But when it comes to the products, they often do evaluate and you'll see what they're looking for. So here they can say, hey, these are my favorite because good value. Again, you'll notice that price sensitivity is very strong here. And then you'll see that there's only one option for option B, which if we pop open this one, we can also see that this is our product. So although we did really well in the search grid test and we did well in the click test, not so great when they actually get to the listing. So that is why evaluating every stage from start to finish is so critical when it comes to identifying where those clicks come from and what we can do to improve not just our click-through rate, but our offer as well. If you want access to this, link is in the description, and you also have an offer if you want 50% off of your first poll. Download the free SOP so you can run these free PickFu polls yourself and start uncovering insight for your products today. Now that you know how to improve your product, you want to be able to track your progress. Watch this next video to learn exactly where your product stands. Are you beating the competition or are you falling behind?